OutieGuide production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the introductory episode of the OutieGuide podcast. My name is Matt Toyne. This is my co-host,
Brandon Fessler.
We're just a couple of guys that are kind of obsessed with the outdoors and wanted to do a podcast. Why? Because we wanted to. So nothing more than that, but wanted to be able to help people out. Tips, tactics, strategies, information, gear reviews, advice, you name it. Everything in the outdoor world, from hunting to fishing, camping, pretty much anything that has to do with the outdoors.
Yeah, and we'll probably throw in some stuff too, sports, current events.
Whatever's on my mind.
Yeah. Yep, you know how it is.
Because it doesn't want to. We want to be boring. We don't want to be one of those scripted things that.
Not to say that outdoors is boring.
Yeah, it never is. But some of those, not to say any type of podcast itself, but ones that are scripted, it's not going to be scripted. It's just one of those off the cuff. You'll probably hear kids in the background because doing that in my kitchen. So, anyway, gotta just kind of want to introduce the two of us. Why don't you go ahead and tell about yourself, Brandon?
Yeah, so my niche, the way we kind of wanted to approach this podcast was we wanted to focus on two niches, hunting and fishing. My niche is fishing, specifically fly fishing. I've been doing guiding for a while. It's not just a...
Don't let this dude fake you out. He's a freaking pro. Not kidding. He could quit his job right now and be a full-time fishing guide without any problem whatsoever.
Yeah, so. I don't know about that. I mean, that would be nice too. That would be ideal, but that's something the wife I don't think would approve of. Yeah, so the big thing is I notice as I go out and I teach people how to fly fish and we do guiding, a lot of them want more. You know, you do the initial thing, and well, I want to know how to do this, and I want to know how to do that. And so one thing that I wanted to do is that Matt and I were talking about is how do we jumpstart someone's, not career, but how do we jumpstart someone's hobby into hunting and fishing? Because there's a lot, when you think about it, there's a lot of things that you need to know.
Especially nowadays. I mean, anybody every Tom, Dick, and Harry can have their own blog on some sort of advice on what to do, and they may not have any clue what they're doing. Yeah. On top of that, technology's advanced to the point where gear is just amazing. So,
well, it's amazing, and everybody's doing it, and
it's awesome.
Yeah, and there's so and that was another thing that we wanted to touch upon is how do you know which product is the best or the best value? Because let's just be honest, I don't know. I mean, I do some hunting. I don't know how this occurs, but in fly fishing, a lot of times you'll notice that some of these brands, they will charge, the $300, $350 price point for a pair of waders. You may be able to get away with a nice, decent pair for $89.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, especially if you catch some of the deals when they're on. But I will say, though, I guess the caveat to this, with anything that you do, and this is part of why we're doing this, is because gear can make the difference between a fun outing and a not so fun, or even a terrible outing. So whether it be hunting, fishing, camping, you don't have the right gear, and something happens, chances are you're going to be miserable. So that's one of the things we want to touch on as well. So tell me this. I guess you can keep going with your intro, but what draws you to fishing? Why? What made it your passion?
A lot of it, I think, it started out as tradition. My dad would always do it, and he'd always drag me out there with him. And then I have a brother that he's quite the fly fisherman too, and he dragged me out to doing it, and watching them do it, and then being part of the outdoors, that aspect of connecting with nature. There's a little bit of a spiritual experience there too. And you think about it, there's this guy, I can't remember his name, but he had created this maturity level or the life cycle of a fly fisherman. He says when you first start out, you want to catch all the fish in the world that you can, right? And then you go through a next phase that you want to just go after the big ones. And then eventually, it's like the Maslow's, all that stuff, right? The hierarchy of the hierarchy, or the top pinnacle part of your fly fishing maturity curve is just being out there and being with family, and so that's what
Sounds a little bit like the transition from boy to man too.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
girls.
yeah, exactly.
Everyone out there,
yeah,
then the best.
Yeah, when you're young, exactly. That's kind of and so that's what draws me to it. And now when you got kids, I had friends that are fly fishermen that said, don't ever have your family go with you because then you never fish. And it's true. When I taught my wife to fly fish, and she's an amazing fly fisherman, and I have a son, Peyton, he's 10, and he can do the whole thing now, tie his knots, flies, everything, and they're good. And most of the time I'm the one out rowing the boat.
I never get a fish until everybody's tired of it and goes and does something else.
Yep. So what about you, Matt? What draws you to hunting?
So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. So my background is by trade, I'm an attorney, which, boo, everybody can, put their fingers down. Nobody really likes attorneys, but I was drawn to that because I enjoyed that part of it. But my passion for sure is hunting. I've been hunting since I was a little kid. I've also been fishing. I'm not as prolific of a fisherman, but I have goals and aspirations to become such. But hunting, there's a lot of nostalgia. It's like, I don't know, you got to get your dose of nostalgia. Remember waking up with my dad and going hunting and getting out of school early. It was a big deal. I mean, everybody went out, everybody went hunting, and it just was something that we always did. It became to the point, so I did a lot of rifle hunting, mostly deer. I got into little elk hunting, was a rifle hunter there. Got into waterfowl hunting. I went with my uncle. It was, just something I love to do. And then I got into archery about 8 years ago. I started hunting archery, and I'll tell you what, the draw for that it's amazing. The adrenaline rush that you get from being around the animals. My favorite thing to do is to elk hunt, right? And the archery hunt goes right through the middle of the rut. And here in Utah, we have some of the best elk hunts and herds in the world, and tons of public land to be able to do it. And if you're willing to get off your four-wheeler and hike a little bit, then you're going to have a pretty good chance of running into something and at least having an experience. And I remember the first time I heard an elk bugle in the wild, man, I had shivers for days, like chills for days, and it was awesome. And so I kind of dedicated myself to one, learning how to shoot a bow good, and being a good archer and an ethical hunter with a bow. And then also, I've always been a complete nerd when it comes to calls, elk calls, and duck calls as well. When I hear something, I want to mimic it and become the best at it. And so it's just become a crazy passion of mine. And a lot of an obsession, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. I remember one time we were in the car together, and you had this call in your car. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? He's like, I just practice all the time.
Which call? Yeah, I got
the elk one, the one that I think you made it out of a toy bat or something, right?
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I probably have spent way too much money on calls and made my own calls and just trying to find exactly what sounds the best. And I do practice a ton. I have it in my car, especially if the season's coming up during duck hunting season. I got my my duck and goose calls in the car, and I'm quacking and honking on those the whole time. And then when you start hitting about springtime, I start just pounding on the elk calls and listen. There are all kinds of people out there that are so good. Some of the champions out there. So, and I just follow them, and I just practice because you're never going to get with anything unless you practice. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of what we're hoping to do with this, is just kind of talk about what we do and how we can help other people. We're taking emails, question and answers, phone calls for people, voicemails, that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about tips, tricks, and strategies. And this is off the cuff. This is not going to be any, not going to take 500 takes. And we're just going to do it as it goes. So what you hear is what you get. So
I think both of us are busy in our lives where I don't want to spend my career just doing this.
Oh, for sure. Right. Sometimes fun things can become monotonous if you make it too serious. So plus it's boring. I think most people don't want to hear that. So anyway, so if you have questions, go ahead and email us. We're going to use the OutieGuide.com as the website. That's coming soon. For now, we're going to use a Gmail account. Is it?
Yeah, OutieGuide at gmail.com. That's OutieGuide.
Can you spell?
Yep.
Double check, spell check. OutieGuide. So OutieGuide is the name of basically the company that we're using here. We got
The brand, yeah.
I mean the brand, and all that good stuff will be coming soon as we get it going. So depending on how busy we are, I mean we'll hope to have at least one a week, right?
Yep.
But maybe
Yeah, we're gonna try and
more
shoot for one a week, and then the website, like Matt said, it'll be coming up. We want to make it a community, but at the same time, we want to emphasize categories, hunting and fishing categories for products, and then doing reviews and kind of building the site around that and having a community where we help each other find the best products. That's kind of my background now. I do a lot of digital strategy, and so I help companies optimize their products, optimize their websites, and so that's kind of my niche.
Being modest again, you're flipping wizard.
So I want to.
Like Gandalf when it comes to
optimization
of websites.
And if you're interested, if you got stuff, so we'll do some product highlights or product spotlights on the podcast. We come across some stuff that's really neat. If you have something like that, if you're interested in writing for us, you can send that same email to outieguide@gmail.com. Or if you even have a product that you want us to review on the show, feel free, send us an email. We'd be glad to do it.
If you're a wizard at something, if maybe you're just the guru on when it comes to waders, or you're the guru when it comes to some brand of bow or arrow or whatever, you could let us know. We'll put you on, and you can write for us and do some reviews, and hopefully we can get it published on our website. So, I think that's about it. But feel free, give us a ring. We don't have a phone set up yet, but hey, we're shooting from the hip. So just shoot us an email, outieguide@gmail.com. Watch for the website, outieguide.com. Coming up, it hasn't launched yet, but we're getting there. So anything else you want to
Nope, that's it.
shout it? All right.
Cool. Peace.
Peace out.